Hey there, everybody. It is Dr. Steve, and this is Understanding Your Pain, where we're into part 2 talking about your shin splints. And so in the first video, we went through and did a little bit more of the education and explaining what and why, and it has to do with a lot of the ankle joint mobility up and down. So up is dorsiflexion, down is plantar flexion. Because when the foot is plantar flexing, that's when these muscles on the front of the shin are lengthening, and they're actually controlling descending that foot down to meet the ground. So they're decelerating the toes, lowering, and that's where these muscles get a whole lot of work. If there's some stickiness, some restrictions in the ankle motion, that can contribute to making the shin splints angry. If there's also, it's the rotation that has a lot to do with the supination and the pronation. So in the first video, we were working a little bit more on the dorsiflexion. Now we're going to do something where we're working on kind of the plantar flexion, but we're strengthening through those muscles. So what we're doing is leaning against the wall so that your feet are out in front of you and you're really kind of putting some weight into the wall to support you. And what we're going to do is actually one at a time lifting the toes up. So the heel is down, and this is really making that actual shin muscle, the anterior tibialis and the extensor hallucis, the big toe muscle, that's making them work. And so we want to do a little bit of up and down. 1 foot at a time is a little bit easier as you put some weight through that heel. A little tougher is actually making both feet go up at the same time because then you don't have one that's supporting you quite as much. I want to just make sure my little pad isn't going to slide away from me. But then we're going to play with the angles here. And so we're going to do the toe in version. And so that's where these pieces of tape can be a helpful little just kind of reference. But same idea. It gets a little bit funkier when we put our feet into some of these positions because the joints don't have as much room to move. That's expected, that's normal. But as we change the angle of the foot to start the motion, we're changing the joint angles and the emphasis on the muscles. So we do a little bit of toes in here, and then you guessed where we're going. Then we're going to do a little bit of the toes out. And so here, this ends up being really good for the knees because of how everything is connected, and having strong shins in the front really makes life better for the knees. So we're focused on the shin splints, and that's why we're kind of picking this one, building off of that first exercise we did in the first video with the knee to the wall. Now this is doing the toe lifts where your body is leaning on the wall. And then as we go into the next one, we're going to progress it a little bigger, a little more dynamic, a little bit more whole body, where we're going to tie in the kinetic chain and really work on that internal rotation for the hips. Okay, so if you or anybody that you care about, know, love, or want to be nice to are struggling with some shin pain, some lower leg pain, some shin splints, don't let them sit and suffer. Bring them into Kineci and we will figure out what's going on and come up with a plan to help things feel better. So until next time, keep moving, everybody.